I'm Daisy Chapman, 39 years of age, born in London, but currently reside in the southwest of England, which is where I discovered my art, Bristol, as a university student with a classical music background. But it took me 3 years, so all of university, to discover who I was as a musician and discover the people who eventually became my musical cohorts. And looking back now on how I started out, I realised that the early years of a musician's life are all about setting goals, and one ultimate one which is reached through a series of smaller ones. So in my case, the ultimate dream was to be a full-time musician and to tour the world. And the imminent dreams that lay out ahead of us are like a pathway to success, starting out fairly benign, but gaining gravitas as you progress. My first goal was just to record an album, followed by playing a gig, and then subsequent goals came on fairly swiftly to headline, to play a Saturday night, to headline a Saturday night, to play in London, to headline London, and so on over the next couple of years. But that ultimate dream was still far from reach. It didn't take long to realise that the feeling of the financial pinch would be the kickstart that I needed to really reach the ultimate dream. How could I be a full-time musician if I had a full-time office job? So I quit, and my first stop was the USA. Booking a tour in America on your own with absolutely no contacts didn't end up being as hard as I thought. I quickly became a surfing salesman, using my Englishness as the perfect pitch on email, armed with a map, and before long I'd built up a list of coffee houses neatly pinned down the Highway 1 of California that offered me a gig in exchange for a tip jar. It was grueling, it was lonely, I didn't make any money, but I saw some sights. I learnt to become very resourceful. For example, I bought a mic stand from a well-known music store in San Francisco, only to return it to the same chain in San Diego a few weeks later, all packaged up and ready for a refund. And the exchange rate had shifted so slightly that I even made a profit. But whilst the US trip was in planning, I was introduced through a friend to a label manager named Heiko Grein. And suddenly I had a European door open for me and a new imminent dream to tour Europe. So we formed an alliance and across the channel, and after a series of small weekend trips, I can remember an email from Heiko that would probably change his future and certainly change mine. He said, "I have an idea. A circuit of venues on a monthly basis, a tour on repeat with a different artist each month. I don't know what to call it. I'll get back to you." So it was his epiphany moment, probably on one of his runs, and Songs and Whispers was born shortly after. So in 2008, I joined the circuit in its second month. 7 nights of shows in different locations, varying in design: a cinema, a theatre, an ice cream parlour, a hotel lobby, a cafe garden, all unique and not necessarily obvious locations for a show. But Heiko saw a space and made it a gig. Because what is a cinema if it's not showing a film? It's a theatre. It has seats and it has a stage. And what is a hotel lobby if it's not checking in guests at a busy time? It's a marble-floored acoustic haven. So this was somewhat unorthodox, but I was touring. And after this circuit, I was being invited back for bigger and better shows, driving myself across the country in wind and snow and writing songs about my experiences. The door was open. I wasn't quite touring the world, but the opportunities were flooding in. So whether it be scooting around Europe as part of a prog rock band, sharing the stage with Deep Purple and Hawkwind, or waltzing across the globe with an all-female act performing on International Women's Day, I was, and I am, certainly achieving some form of that ultimate goal. And only last year I sat at a Steinway piano in Taiwan asking myself, is this it? So has my dream shifted? I'm not famous. I'm not rich. I sometimes still have to teach piano or play in bars to survive. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a homeowner. But surely ultimately all an artist really wants is a space to play and an audience to listen. And Songs and Whispers provide that velvet rope between artist and audience. in a once vacant corner of a room. So after all, as Shakespeare once said himself, all the world is a stage, and Songs and Whispers have certainly made it so for me.